Alright guys, filming with Greg Nuckols today. Start the day by being a good brother, give Angus some of my old clothes that I don't wear. Working 7 days a week. Just outworking people. It's hard. I don't have any crypto monies. Doesn't have any crypto monies, but I do, and just made a good investment this morning. Go to my personal Instagram at OscarCharles3 for those hot tips. It's pretty stifling. Nice warm day in Sydney. 10 past 7, going to get coffee. This is how we prep for an interview usually if Angus isn't 10 minutes late, which is likely, but new year, new him. That's it. I'm growing up. No, I am motivated for 20. I thought you stopped recording. I'm actually quite motivated for 2018, both business-wise and personally, physically. See, for me, if people didn't do or try to do what they wanted to do in 2017, I'm like, what hope do you have in 2018? Probably the same amount of hope you had in 2017. No one just goes out and changes who they are. See, I do. That's why I'm different, Oscar. So Oscar got jealous that I was always the one in front of the camera and he wanted some camera time for himself. Hello. Himself. Hello. Himself. Hello. Don't ever say we're not personal trainers. I tackle these stairs every second day.
You gotta be a good Samaritan, help that old boy up the stairs.
I sure am. Watch me.
How are you gonna build trust? Because you look like a young hooligan.
At least I don't look like Shannon Null.
You dress like a rapper, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Because I spit fire on the mic, just different kind. Carry those up.
I'll be a few minutes, Pete. Just leave them up.
So that guy definitely doesn't listen to Rogan, because as you can see, it is just pure carbs in that bag.
Now there's meat.
I respect. Is it elk?
Beef. Tuna. There you go, mate, just here.
Get a bit of a buzz off that, Oscar, helping other people.
I like to think I help every time we release new content. Okay, just about to go via Skype with Greg Nuckols, so the next footage you guys will see will hopefully be screen rips from the conversation. Alright guys, round 2 with Greg Nuckols. Well, round 3 if you count when I and thought I scheduled it the week earlier. Yeah, so from the last footage, Angus really screwed up. Alright, we're going to set up our studio right now. Here's the setup. Alright, here's our little studio setup. I'm trying to bring the best sound quality for you guys, so this is what we got. Create safe spaces where people can confidently share uneducated and uninformed opinions with each other. Give us a tour. This is not a place for fact checking. So as we can see, the blanket, the acoustic rug as we like to call it. And then we have these ergonomic stools, which actually help with glute activation. And you can see there's a nice little poop hole for if we decide to go full Rogan and punch out a 3-hour episode. So, thought of everything. If someone could hook us up with some buckets to shit into, that would actually be extremely helpful. So if you know anyone, please. Alright guys, let's go into studio mode. Here we go. Alright, nice and cozy. This is the setup we got, guys. So, mic, set up some media, and then just my book here. We got Greg waiting for him to come on to Skype, and then the program that I use to record is called Ecamm. So that collects audio from both ends.
Are you just trying to... You're trying to tell them how a microphone works?
No, I'm trying to tell them how that Ecamm records. Like so you're not getting like that shitty phone quality like Greg or the guest is on the phone. So I recommend that. Ecamm costs like $80 for FaceTime and Skype plugins. Worth it. Here you got me starting watching some of your videos, and I just want to make a quick reference to the how much do genetics affect muscle growth YouTube video you put on Strength Theory, I think a couple of months back. And I just want you to know that for the listeners, you spoke about quad development in relatively trained listeners, and there are 3 groups, I think non-responders, moderate responders and high responders, and I just want to say you're looking at a couple of non-responders.
People often talk about jumping capacity as if it's a relatively inelastic training quality. How much do you feel like weight training was actually able to contribute to your vertical leap, or was it just sort of a part of your natural athletic development that produced these dunking traits that you had?
I think that both are true. So any physical capacity, you can kind of put it on an elasticity continuum. So for example, you take something like 1 rep max strength. That's a very elastic property. Like most people, if they take up lifting, they're going to get stronger. Like their maxes are going to go up. And generally pretty dramatically. Like put a bar on someone's back to squat the first time, they're probably not going to squat very much. Most people are going to end up squatting easily 4 or 5 times as much as they could the first time they squatted. So most people, like there are varying amounts of room for growth there between individuals, but most people do have plenty of room to grow there. Jumping, I don't think there is quite as much room for improvement there for most people, but I do certainly think that it's a trainable quality. So I think it's something where natural ability probably does play a larger role than it would for maybe 1 rep max strength or potentially hypertrophy. But I do certainly still believe it's a trainable quality.
I think it's interesting the comments you made about hypertrophy, and that's been one of my favorite lessons that I've learned from all your writings. Is just that, I guess one of your opinions is that you feel one of the biggest differences between intermediate and advanced athletes, I guess more so in strength sports, is just hypertrophy. But then I understand that you had a lot of success with Bulgarian style powerlifting training, which, as I understand it, and I could be wrong, probably is not that conducive to hypertrophy. So is that a style of training that you more found success with after you'd built your base? Or is it a way that you think people could train from an intermediate level?
I think it depends how you set it up. So if you're basically just going in, working up to a single, and that's your entire workout, I don't think that would be very conducive for hypertrophy, and I don't think that would be a great way to train for an intermediate lifter that still needs to put on a fair amount of size. But you can do it where you work up to a heavy single and then do drop back sets for volume, either every workout or a few times a week, and I think that can be very good for hypertrophy. So yeah, I mean, as with the last question, I think just the specifics of how you set it up are going to matter a lot.
So how much time, when you were doing this Bulgarian style training, how many sessions were you doing per day?
So let me start by saying I wouldn't recommend other people do this. But at the time I was training 3 times a day. I was interning at a strength and conditioning facility, and before my shift would start, I'd go in, max on squat, drop back sets, max on bench, drop back sets, do my shift. And then when that finished up, all of us coaches would work out together. So I'd get another workout in with them. And then I'd eat. And then a couple hours after that, my then girlfriend, now wife, her and her sister would get off work, and I was training them, so they'd come and I would train with them as well. So I was putting in 3 sessions a day at the time. Only one of them was like a Bulgarian-ish session. The one with the other coaches was mostly kind of like bodybuilding type stuff. And then the one with my wife and her sister is a volleyball player, so I was mostly training her for like just general explosiveness, trying to get her vertical up. So that was the majority of that workout.
And is that the sort of training style that took you to that world record squat, or was this a different sort of period?
That was my first world record total. The world record squat was about 9 months after that. And I'd say the tenets were overall similar. I was still squatting most days per week, but it was more focused on like 1 or 2 harder sessions per week, and then the rest were mostly just working up to somewhere around 550 for a couple of reps, just kind of to stay loose.
Welcome to the High Performance Podcast. How good is this?